So today I'm going to be setting up my monthly page for November in my A5.grid notebook. This is what I use as my bullet journal for monthly, weekly, and daily pages. And the kit I'm showing you here is from Cricut Paper Co. It is their Chill collection. It's wintry, but it's not like super Christmassy, so I thought it would be good for November. So the very first step when I'm laying out a bullet journal page for me is generally to pencil out the things that I find important not to mess up. You're going to see here that I'm penciling in the boxes for the month, but nothing else because the boxes to me are kind of the most important. I do tend to change the layout for each month. They're not all the same. If you prefer to use the same layout every month, you may not need to pencil it in because you can probably do it by memory. But since I change it up, I just like to pencil it out first. Here I am making 5 square by 5 square boxes for every day in the month. November has 5 weeks, so you're going to see 5 rows. And then the next step is to erase the days in the beginning and at the end of the grid that aren't in November. So for instance, the last 3 days in October and the first 2 in December. And here I'm taking an Inkjoy gel pen and tracing over those pencil lines. I am not using a ruler. You can if you want. It's up to you. I prefer the kind of a little bit wonky look that you get with the hand-drawn lines. One tip though when you're drawing hand lines is to make sure that you're moving from your elbow up, not your wrist up. It's going to do two things. It's going to help the lines be a little bit straighter, but it's also going to prevent a lot of tension in your wrist. To head the columns, to mark them off as, which day of the week they are, I usually do one of two things. I either letter them in or I use date headers. Now the date headers in this kit, since this kit is sized for an Erin Condren vertical planner, are about 1.5 inches wide. This is way wider than I need for my 5 boxes. So I'm just grabbing a pair of scissors and cutting those. And I know for a lot of people, scissors to stickers is kind of a hard thing to imagine, but I do it constantly. Since I use a bullet journal and a lot of stickers are sized for the Erin Condren, scissors are always nearby just to make it fit how I work. And you've probably already realized that this is the wrong days of the week being laid out. My monthly starts on a Sunday, and I laid down Monday first. That's not a big problem because most of the stickers I use are removable, just like the Cricut Paper Co. ones. So when I figure this out in about one more sticker, I'm going to go ahead and pull them up and lay them back down. Normally, I really dislike when date headers and other stickers have white for the writing and I cover it up with a black Sharpie. However, because these have a darker background, black would actually show up less than white, so I'm leaving them as is. Once again, that's totally a personal preference. I don't know if it would bother anyone else. Once I've corrected the stickers to go where they are, I'm going to go ahead and trim off the last 2. If the empty space under Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday bother you, those strips of washi that come in weekly kits are perfect for covering that up. But I actually like a lot of empty white space, so I leave it. And then the next step is to erase all the pencil lines that I did, so when I finish drawing in, I don't have to worry about pencil lines ruining any lettering or numbering or getting in between stickers later. The way Cricut Paper Co. has her weekly kits set up, they do come with enough numbers to letter a whole month. This totally depends on the shop you buy them from. Of course, it's actually, I find it's a lot quicker just for me to go ahead and use a pen to write in the numbers, but I thought this was nice because it coordinated more with the stickers. You will notice that some of the numbers, like the 1 and the 5, are very light blue, so they are kind of hard to read on camera. You can use a black Sharpie or any type of other permanent marker to fix that if you prefer. November is a huge month of preparation for me, so that's why this month is actually a little bit smaller, and I know that's counterintuitive, but because I know my weeklies and my lists and my dailies are going to be huge, I don't need that much monthly pages, And here I ran off to grab the sticker kits that I made with Libby & Co. for Winter Plannerland because November 9th marks 1 month away from that. So I will say that the only problem when using vinyl stickers is they all are kind of a little bit different shades of white. So when you use two different sticker shops next to each other, you can see that kind of very strongly. I feel like Libby & Co.'s is more of like a pure white, bright, whereas the Cricut Paper Co. is still very white, but it has a little bit of like a greenish gray tint to it. It doesn't bother me, but I do know people that would bother. Whenever I feel like my layout is a little bit kind of like empty or boring, I go ahead and add shadows to the boxes, kind of almost giving them this fake like coming up from the page effect. This is done by doing a slanted line shadow from every box, so that's what I'm doing here. I will fill these in later, but I like to wait in between drawing the lines for the shadow and filling them in, so the pen has time to dry and creates less smudging when I grab a marker. Because the right side of the layout only has 3 days compared to the 4 on the left side, there is a lot more empty space on the right page, and that is where I go ahead and put my kind of monthly overview. It changes every month on what I think I'm going to need. This month I have a to-do and like an odds and ends. Sometimes I use birthdays, sometimes I have like huge upcoming events. So I'm going ahead and sketching that out. This one wasn't that important to me, so you see I didn't bother with pencil first. And then I'm also adding shadowing just like I did with the other boxes. So I don't tend to use checkboxes or checklist stickers of any type in my planner pages or bullet journal pages. So here I'm taking these ombre checklists and I'm cutting off one section, and it makes a great event sticker or just kind of like a tiny strip of washi to mark an event that takes more than 1 day on the monthly layout. And it's the same thing I do with the other stickers. These boxes being 5 by 5 squares are way too small even for the half boxes. So I'm taking a sticker and I'm cutting it to fit when I need it. Here on November 11th, I'm super excited because the creator of Dilutions, Diane Reevely, is coming and she's teaching a really awesome class at a local scrapbooking store that I'm getting to take. The last thing I'm marking on my monthly layout is Thanksgiving. I don't tend to go ahead and pre-fill in the monthly. I'm just filling in the things that I remember off of the top of my head. I do have a stack of Post-its and like a little scribble page on the other side where I know things that are happening on the month, but now I'm just laying it out since I do have about 2 weeks till November starts. Now here I am going ahead and going to give this page a header where it'll say November, so I actually know what month this page is for. I could go ahead and write it straight on the paper, but since I have the kit and it provides its own set of cohesiveness, I thought I would use stickers. Here I'm grabbing 2 full box ombre checklists that are the same color since there are multiple colors on this page, and I am lining them up back to back to kind of give this gradient page flag effect. And I keep cutting them down until they are the size I want them to be. At first I thought it was a little too thick for the page, it was kind of overbearing. These are vinyl stickers, and like most other vinyls, these do require a permanent marker like a Sharpie to write on them. If you try writing on them with the same pen that I've been using to make the lines on my page, that ink pen is just going to smear everywhere. But at the same time, I can't use a Sharpie directly into my bullet journal on the blank paper because that would cause pretty horrible bleed through. So it is nice to keep 2 pens with you if you are going to use vinyl stickers like these. Now the page was looking good. I do like the amount of white space, but I wanted a little bit more decoration. So I grabbed this full box from the kit, and it's a really cute little knit sweater, and I put it down kind of overlapping 2 other boxes just to give it more dimension. And to tie it in, like the other boxes, I outlined it and I gave it a shadow. Obviously, you can tell I'm kind of not a big planner when I'm doing my bullet journal layout. Otherwise, I would have planned this so I didn't have that overlapping shadow between the full box and the odds and ends. However, that doesn't bother me at all, and once it's colored in, you really can't tell the shadow was there to begin with. Here, I'm just laying out the sticker sheet to see if I want to add anything else, if I want to cover up any of that white space, but I decide I don't. I like it how it is. So the very next step, and the last one here, is to grab a marker, or two markers as I did here, to color in those shadows. You can leave them blank, you can color them in with as many different colors as you want. Here I'm just grabbing a light gray and a dark gray. I'm using the light gray on the month section and the to do and odds and ends box, whereas I'm using a dark gray on the full box and the November header, and that kind of finishes off my November monthly page, my bullet journal. Thank you guys for watching.